The top 4 seeds will host the first round and the quarterfinal games. The conference tournament champions from the WCHA, ECAC, CHA, Hockey East, and the New England Women's Hockey Alliance received that automatic berth, leaving one fewer at-large bid this year. All right, so let's get started. The number 1 national seed for the second straight year, the Ohio State Buckeyes. The defending champs will host the Columbus Regional. The Bucks won the WCHA regular season, but lost 3-1 to Minnesota yesterday in Minneapolis in the conference championship game. It's the Buckeyes' 5th NCAA tournament and 4th in a row. Nadine Muzzerall's Buckeyes loaded again, Angela.
It's an unbelievable team. Number 1 again, 31-5-2 this year. I have had an outstanding year. Second in the nation goals per game, second in the nation power play goals, first in the nation on power play. They're just Gartner in particular has been outstanding. Patty Kaz top 10, but Sophie Jakes, I'm going to give her some love. Plays defense. She was the WCHA Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. So they're stacked again. They've proven it again. Yeah, they lost to Minnesota yesterday. I think that's a discussion we'll have, but they have an outstanding team.
Well, and you talk about their special teams, their power play being number 1. That is quarterbacked by Sophie Jakes on the back end, second in the nation with 8 power play goals. But don't forget about their offense. They returned Olympic gold medalist Emma Maltais. She was sleepy in the first half, then lights out in the second half. And then also Peyton Levis had an outstanding NCAA tournament last year, was the MVP. Expect her to have a hot tournament deep in the NCAAs.
Ohio State still in Minneapolis today, unable to get home because of some weather. They are hoping to get back to Minnesota for a 3rd straight Frozen Four. All right, up next, the Golden Gophers of Minnesota. This is the program's 20th appearance. That's the most all-time. Brad Frost Gophers winning 29 games this season. They went 3-1-1 against Ohio State, by the way, including yesterday's win. They'll be at Ritter Arena as the 2 seed for the 2nd straight year. Kendall, what stands out about Minnesota?
Offense, offense, offense. This is the most gifted team in the NCAA offensively. They get back Grace Zumwinkle and Abby Murphy from the U.S. Olympic team. They get back the reigning Patty Kazmaier finalist, Taylor Heise. Their offense is just stacked. They can be a little bit susceptible defensively and on the back end and in their goaltending, but they have enough offense to go deep into this tournament.
6 NCAA championships for Minnesota. The Colgate Raiders continuing to have the magic touch in the ECAC. Yesterday, they slammed Clarkson 8-2 in the league title game, winning the tournament for the 3rd straight year. Greg Fargo's team, the number 3 seed. They'll be at home in Hamilton, New York. And Angela, they are led by Patty Kaz finalist Danielle Serdachny.
Yeah, ECAC Hockey Player of the Year, again, top 10 for the Patty Kaz. She's been outstanding. Canadian national team player, recently made her debut and scored actually a clutch goal for Team Canada. So she's been showing up for this team all year. They've done an outstanding job, again, 3 times in a row winning that ECAC tournament. So I think there's a lot of momentum again, a lot of experience to bear. And although maybe you haven't heard Colgate's name as often as maybe some of these WCHA teams, they're second in the nation in their power play. They've got just an outstanding team. Expect big things from Colgate.
All right, moving on, the Bulldogs of Yale. They will be the number 4 national seed in the New Haven Regional. It's the program's 2nd straight national tournament. They made the Frozen Four last year in their first ever appearance. Mark Bolding has done a great job with the Elis. Kendall, I know you like this team's defense.
I do like this team's defense. They are a defensively sound team that is led on the back end by ECAC Defenseman of the Year, Emma Seitz, and ECAC Goaltender of the Year, Pia Dukovic. They are an opportunistic team offensively led by Elle Harchie, and they want to build upon their first NCAA experience last year and the early departure in the semifinals from what was last year. They have a lot to be proud of. I know COVID is behind us, but this is a team that 2 years ago didn't step on the ice together, didn't meet together. This speaks to how great of a coach Mark Bolding is and the culture and the leadership that is within that Yale Bulldog room. So credit to them and look forward to seeing them in the tournament.
All right, Yale's opponent, the Northeastern Huskies, champions of Hockey East for an unprecedented 6th consecutive year. They'll be the 5 seed. Dave Flint lost 12 players from last year's Frozen Four team, but he returned Alina Mueller and a bunch of stars. And Angela, we saw them yesterday in the Hockey East title game. And what impressed you the most?
I mean, 3 of the top 10, Patty Kazmaier, and Alina Mueller, Chloe Orar, and Maureen Murphy. Again, they have offensive prowess. They all have plus 200 points on their season. So talk about a top line. That line is it. But look on goaltending. Gwyneth Phillips is also in the top 10. She's one of the best goalies at a 96% save percentage. She's just been unbelievable. Again, they've won before. They know how to do it with Coach Dave Flint. And again, it was fun watching them perform yesterday. They showed up and performance in the clutch when it mattered.
All right, so there you have the top 5 seeds. Those teams only have to win one game to get to Duluth in the Frozen Four. Angela, maybe no real surprises. Maybe the exception would be Minnesota had a great record against Ohio State during the year, yet it's the Buckeyes is the 1 overall seed, Minnesota number 2.
Yeah, I think if you look this year, we talked to the selection committee this morning. They said, look, we're going to get a little bit more granular with our scoring methodology, the MPI being implemented this year. A large percentage of that is strength of schedule. So you could argue Ohio had a slightly harder schedule. But overall, look, I think that's a great dynamic. You're 1-3-1. You've got something to prove here. And, they're both great teams, Minnesota, Ohio. It's nice that they've gone head-to-head if they end up seeing each other in the championship. But I want to underscore just the selection committee, the methodology, the professionalism going into women's hockey. You can be assured, I think, that, again, where we end up or we net out hopefully isn't a surprise for any of these teams today.
Kendall, your thoughts?
I agree completely, Angela, and I don't think it's a surprise. The top 5 teams have been the top 5 teams in college hockey all year. What I love is the parity, 2 ECAC teams, 2 WCHA team, and the lone Hockey East team, my Northeastern Huskies.
All right, still 6 spots available, but only 4 at-large bids. It's going to get a little nerve-wracking as we go along. We're going to let that drama build a bit as we go to break. Coming up, a little bit later in the show, we're going to chat with Ohio State head coach Nadine Muzzerall. There she is. Her and the Buckeyes, the number 1 national seed. We know that. They're back to defend their title. We'll talk to her a bit later as the selection show rolls on. The rest of the field, let's get it going. In the Columbus Regional, the Quinnipiac Bobcats, an at-large out of the ECAC, making their 4th NCAA tournament appearance, and for the 2nd straight year, they are headed to Columbus. Cassandra Turner's team beating Syracuse last year in the tournament before falling to the Buckeyes in the national quarterfinals. They're going to take on the Penn State Nittany Lions, making program history. Their first trip to the NCAA tournament, the champs out of College Hockey America. Those teams meeting Thursday night in Columbus. The winner will get the number 1 seed, Ohio State, on Saturday, Kendall.
I just want to say congratulations to Penn State. I've been in that room, been in that seat when you make your first NCAA appearance, and it only goes up from here. This team is led offensively by Kiara Zanin, a top 10 Patty Kazmaier finalist, and rookie and freshman Tessa Janicki. She was Rookie of the Year. If you haven't seen their trick goal from this year, go YouTube it. But they're led offensively by those players. And Josie Bethune has been unbelievable behind the pipes. She makes critical saves when it's needed. But Quinnipiac on the other side, don't sleep on them. They had a very, very hot start to their season, winning 17 games in the first half. But then they got a little sleepy in the second half, losing 11-3 to Princeton. And that type of loss is going to take the wins out of anybody's sails. But they need to be the first half Quinnipiac team if they want to beat the Penn State Nittany Lions.
I would say on paper maybe Quinnipiac has the slight edge, but Penn State, the first time they've had 20 wins in a season. So again, both good teams. This is a great head-to-head matchup in my opinion, one to watch.
And this is what we're talking about the growth of the sport. Welcome on in. Penn State, the more the merrier. All right, now we go to Hamilton, New York, and that regional. Wisconsin is back in the tournament for the 15th time. The 6-time national champs won it all a couple of years ago. Mark Johnson's Badgers have won 25 games, including big wins over Minnesota and Ohio State at the end of the regular season. And the other team making history this year, Long Island University, the first time that a team from the New England Women's Hockey Alliance makes the field. The Sharks, what a great name, winning the conference regular season title. They beat St. Anselm 2-0 last night to win the Newha tournament title. Angela, congratulations to that program. And head coach Kelly Nash, now she has to face her alma mater.
Yeah, Kelly Nash actually played twice for a 2-time national championship for Wisconsin. So, again, Wisconsin is an unbelievable powerhouse. Mark Johnson, as you know, he just continues to recruit great talent. KK Harvey, who won WCHA Rookie of the Year, who's a forward, Jessie Comfer, Britta Curl, Casey O'Brien, again, 44 points. She leads the way. So a lot of great talent. They need to come together to win this tournament. That's something to emphasize. But Long Island, look, if they show up, it's great this is the first time they're in. If Kelly Nash is able to get their star goalie, Tindra Holm, who's a Swedish national team goalie on top of it, she's had 7 shutouts on the year. If that goalie shows up in this game, plays it hard against Wisconsin, we might have a matchup here.
You call an upset?
I love it. Sometimes you just need a goalie. As they say, goalies could win D and goalies sometimes, can make the big difference. I'm pulling in her favor.
All right. Way to go, LIU. And finally, let's go to the Minneapolis Regional and complete this bracket. The Bulldogs of Minnesota Duluth, out of the WCHA, one of the great programs in women's college hockey history. They'd love nothing more than to play for another national title on their home ice. They were the national runners-up last year, of course. The Dogs, they're going to make the drive to Minneapolis to take on the Clarkson Golden Knights. Matt DeRozier's club was on the bubble for the second straight year, and for the second straight year, they were the last team to receive an at-large bid. They're going to face UMD Thursday night at Ritter Arena in Minneapolis. Minnesota awaits the winner on Saturday.
Well, UMD is so good structurally, so good defensively. Head coach Maura Kroll always does a great job getting her teams to play together and within a disciplined structure. They all buy in. The Swedish Olympian between the pipes, Emma Soderberg, leads the nation in shutouts and will need to be challenged and peppered with chances if she's going to be beaten. And they get Canadian Olympic gold medalist Ashton Bell on the back end, and they will need to stop her because a lot of their offense is generated on the back end by her. And they get Gabby Hughes, their leading goal scorer, back, and she's always in the mix when it comes to the offensive success of the Bulldogs. This is a team that plays a heavy schedule every year, and they are going to want to get back to their home soil, to their home crowd, to win a national championship. As for Clarkson, head coach Matt DeRozier prepares his team well for the postseason. Anytime they get in, they're dangerous. They're led on the back end by an offensive defenseman, Haley Wynn, and offensively up front, Gabby Davis, who has 50 points on the year. So they're always dangerous in the postseason.